Okay,
Well, you're gonna get two.
gentlemen and lady, we will convene, let me take a motion that we convene the meeting
Make a
of
motion to
planning
open the
board.
meeting.
I'll second it.
In favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Since, I'll say this for the record again, since July 1st, there has not been action by the trustees sufficient to, under our village regulations, constitute the board nor appoint a chairman. Therefore, I have determined, again by investigation, that what we've been doing de facto is acceptable
Excuse me.
for as much as we can do, which is to have a motion, which we've done on each time of the meeting, that someone be constituted to act as chairman, and I will make the motion that, again, this has happened several times, that after years of being a very effective chairman, Roy Stevenson be the chairman of this meeting
Sorry.
for these purposes. I will make that motion. Would anyone care to second it?
I'll second it.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So Roy is now the chairman, and will proceed with the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. McFarland.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the November meeting of the Southampton Village Planning Board. Welcome. First item on the agenda is a public hearing for BLC Hillside Investments and 122 BLC Hillside Investments.
For the record, Timothy S. McCully, 41 Meeting House Lane, Southampton, for the applicant. Let the record show that I've submitted affidavits of posting and mailing for this project. The property is located on South Main Street. It's 122 and 132 South Main Street. It's the northerly property owner for, to give you some idea where the property is the St. John's Episcopal Church. It's a two-lot subdivision currently, which is a common driveway. So one lot is on South Main Street, the other's a flag lot. The front lot contains 73,502 square feet and is improved with a one-family dwelling, detached garage, pool, and two small buildings with a pergola used as a pool house. All the structures have certificates of occupancy. The flag lot contains 47,228 square feet and has part of a tennis court on it, which I'll get into a little bit later. The property was the subject of originally the 2007 Planning Board approval for the two-lot subdivision. Last year, you approved a lot line modification, which resulted in the bulk of the lot on the flag lot being reduced to 47,228 feet. And what happened was a portion of that back lot was cut off and given to the property to the east to make their lot bigger. I guess they wanted to do some improvements or some structures and needed that area. So that
I
was,
think it was a property to the south going down toward the Toilsome Lane, I believe.
pardon me?
Wasn't it going to the property to the south going?
Well,
down
it
towards
was east and south. It went down to Toilsome
Toilsome?
Lane.
Yeah, the Toilsome property that
Yes.
was next to it. Thank you.
Yes. Just for the record, I want to hand up that subdivision so you'll have it for your, in case you want to look at it. So our proposal now is to shift the line once again. And what we're going to do is move the line westerly for some 17,000 square feet, so that the front lot will become 50, instead of 73,000, it's now going to be 55,000, and the back lot will be increased in size from its present 47 to approximately 62,000 or 65,000 and something. And that's pretty much the application, just to make the back lot a little bigger, so if it ever gets developed, and there aren't any plans to develop it now, but if it does get developed, we would have sufficient space to do it properly.
Nothing but if they do, they gotta take that out. And this garage has to come down. Thank you.
And at the work session, you pointed out that, Kathy, at the work session, you pointed out that the line wasn't correctly drawn. I'm assuming that now that's been corrected?
Yes, the one that's on the table before you is, and the one that I submitted last week with the smaller copies and a couple of large ones, is now the correct one. Originally, we were going to move the line more westerly. Now we've shifted it back a few feet, which it's a 2,000 square foot, I think, or 17,000 square foot difference in the lot. So
It still cuts off that tennis court, right?
the tennis court now is going to be
Mostly.
in a conforming location.
It's going
Yeah.
to tennis, okay.
It will be.
Excuse my interruption. Mr. Piazza has just joined the board, so he is not
Yes.
familiar with this in the past, so I'm interrupting slightly to get him up to speed.
That's okay.
So I apologize.
Okay, and I'll wait on you.
No, just
Okay.
get him up to speed.
All right, and then as part of the plan, we had to adjust the common driveway egress and so forth, and do they have the copies? They don't. They have them now. And I think we submitted that, and that should be in part of your package that I handed up this evening. I had Lester Holden from Squires Holden and Weisenbacher redo that plan to make sure that it worked.
Okay. Got it.
And that's pretty much the proposal, except that in full disclosure, I want the board to know I have concluded a zoning board of appeals public hearing. We're going to move the garage and reorient the garage and the pool house so that they'll all become more conforming. And one of the things, the garage will be moved away. Right now, it's about 10 feet from the church property. It'll wind up probably being something like 45 feet away. That public hearing is closed. I'm awaiting a decision. I believe it'll be rendered on the 21st. But if this lot line modification is approved, all of those proposed locations will become conforming because the front lot gets smaller, and under the code, that will be 20 feet instead of the required 30 right now. And finally, we're putting in an IA system for the dwelling in the front lot to cover all of the structures there.
Are there any covenants that will be required in the event the property is not under common control?
Yes. Well, we're in common control, so nothing is triggered in that regard. But I do have copies of the declaration that was approved as part of the 2018 application, and then that'll all have to be amended in due course. But we're not triggered yet on
Amended
moving.
because of the change of the lots.
Pardon me?
Amended why? Because the lots are a little different size.
Yes. Yeah, and on whatever conditions you might want to impose upon this particular application would have to be incorporated therein. So one of the conditions that you had in this declaration was that if there was ever a loss of common control of the lots, we would move the garage off that common driveway and get rid of the tennis court or develop the property where the tennis court could be an accessory structure. So we're trying to comply with that earlier decision. But here is the copy of the declarations for the record.
Thank you. Anyone on the board have any questions?
By doing this, making it smaller, you're making those buildings comply.
Everything complies, GFA, lot coverage,
Right.
all of that. And that's all set forth, all of those numbers are on the proposed map.
Seems to make sense, put the tennis court over instead of having it between the two.
That tennis court has been hanging out there forever, and it was allowed to stay in accordance with the board's earlier determinations. And, yeah, okay, I don't know how that tennis court came to be. I guess it was there when the subdivision was done, and then the board said, okay, you can keep the tennis court, but if you ever separate the property
Right.
and not in common control, you got to get rid of it, which would be understandable.
Okay.
So I would see if the public has any comments.
Anyone in the audience want to address this application? Thank you. Is there, I didn't keep my notes from the work session. I can't remember, we have to do a SECRA determination.
Yes, we did a full EAF part 2 and part 3, and there are no significant
No
adverse
concerns,
impacts.
okay.
And the board can adopt a neg deck on this.
So I will move, allow me to interrupt you. Let me make the motion that we adopt the negative declaration with regard to the EAF with respect to the action on this property.
Thank you.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to abstain for now.
Okay? Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
And can we close the public hearing, and then I can get on with the health department application?
I will move approval of item number is 2160 of BLC Hillside Investments with regard to 122 and 132 South Main Street. I move the approval.
Do we have a second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
I should have said second instead of aye, excuse me. Second, aye.
I'm going to abstain for now.
Aye.
Aye.
So Antoinette has 4 ayes and abstention.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The second public hearing is the Riverhead Building Supply, 48 Powell Avenue.
Good evening, I'm Joe Lombardi from the Rayner Group,
Good evening.
representing Riverhead Building Supply. And let the record show that I have submitted the affidavits of mailing and posting. The subject property has an area of about 1.92 acres. It's located on the southerly side of Powell Avenue, about 170 feet east of Elm Street. And there's an existing building supply facility there. The project involves removing the existing enclosed vestibule. It's about 73 square feet, and replacing it with a vestibule of about 192 square feet. The additional area will provide room for sliding doors that will make access for the handicapped more easier. The area where the vestibule is located is already improved with impervious surfaces or the existing vestibule, so there'll be no increase in the amount of impervious surfaces on the site. Building coverage is going to be increased slightly from 27.5% to 27.7%. Maximum coverage in the village business zone is 70%. based on some comments at the work session, we will restripe a portion of the site to allow for 2 handicap parking spaces. And I think that's about it.
The spaces are there, but they'll be designated in blue.
Yes.
I think the current vestibule, isn't it kind of like a greenhouse structure
Yeah, it's
almost?
just glass.
Is
It's
Yeah.
an arch
Is
structure.
that the way the new vestibule will be the same?
No, we're gonna do a cultured stone bottom and a window glass overhang with automatic doors to get in, with a windbreak, for the interior.
So you'll have you'll have a door and then another door, so that'll really be an enclosed area.
Right. Yep.
That is shown on the architectural plans that we've
Do you
submitted.
want to show them those plans?
Oh. I didn't bring the samples. I brought them the last 2 times, but not this time. So we're gonna do like a cultured stone bottom. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. So this is the new one, obviously, with a square bump out and quadruple glass with the bi-parting doors, stationary windows above, real cultured stone below with probably a hardy plank siding above, which is a vast improvement over the structure that was there before.
And going up to sort of like a fake second floor, too.
Yeah, it's kind of a facade type of look because it ties into the commercial type of building on the front, Gives it a more residential feel to the front of it.
It's in keeping with its wholesale and retail activities.
Absolutely.
Promise of things to come.
Questions from anyone?
Not here. This does not require any.
Does anyone in the audience have any comment on this application?
Doesn't affect any properties in the area that you're just decorating your...
Can you please
Could
come
you
forward and
come forward
identify
and-
yourself?
Introduce
Sorry.
yourself.
Excuse me.
You gotta go up to the table.
Oh,
We're official here.
doesn't affect any properties in line with your, building situation, right?
The vestibule is on the front of
Oh, yeah.
the Powell Avenue side of the building, so it doesn't
Because that's the only
affect.
reason why I came, because when we had a variance, well, it was approved by the other zoning board, that, nobody was here for that situation, so since we're on the other side of you, Pulaski Street, I just wanted to verify that. But I see there's nothing to do. I did, because I got a notice from the lawyer
Right.
to see about it. But I know that it was not to do with y'all, but it was another person that had a pool variance, and we wasn't here, and they approved it. They really shouldn't have, but they did. So that's why I came. I represent the Arrington family.
Well, I commend you for coming and making your concerns
And I'm on
known.
the other
Thank you.
side of and the Analetti family is over here.
Ma'am, could you please identify yourself for the
I'm
record?
Helen Arrington,
Okay,
representing the Arrington properties at 53 Pulaski Street.
thank you.
Thank you.
But that's why, it was not a big deal, but I just wanted, because the last time, nobody was here for our concerns, and we kind of lost that. We're still gonna look into it, but we lost that, because the variance of the pool, it was in the hearings about, what about the property to the east? We were the property to the east, but nobody was here to speak on it.
I would say in
That's
this
the reason
particular
why.
case, this doorway isn't going to
But it's
affect
nothing to
you.
do with this, but it's kind of parallel to, you have to come to the hearings, even though it has, all you're doing is decorating your property. Like, I have nothing to do with, if you do that and I'm back here, that's your property. But, since I got notices from the attorneys to come, that's why I came. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
that's it. Other than that, It doesn't affect the property line. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Kathy, any bookkeeping that needs to be done with this application?
This is a secret type 2 action, so there's no additional review required.
I'll move that the application of Riverhead Building Supply 2163 be closed by our review.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Is it being closed or is it being approved?
Closed.
Closed. Okay.
Public hearing, we've got to close,
Okay.
I think
Oh,
we've got to
close.
close the public hearing.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, site plan review. The first item is 9 Main Street LLC. This item was pending decision, and I think I see that decision has been prepared. Alice,
There's a
do you want-
resolution in your file.
You want to summarize the decision, Alice?
This is an application to modify a previous site plan approval, changing a second-story retail use to an office use. And this is the resolution approving that application as previously discussed by the board.
Can I have a motion to approve the resolution modifying the site plan of 9 Main Street LLC?
I will move approval of a resolution approving the site plan for 9 Main Street. As reviewed, I caught up with it at the work session, I didn't hear it before. It's an improvement to the property, in my opinion. I will move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Antoinette, can you take a roll call of the vote?
Aye.
And we have to add Mr. Piazza to the sheet, which we can go
But he's not gonna vote on this one. He's not gonna vote on this one.
I reviewed the file on Friday.
Oh, okay.
Pretty comfortable with it.
All right, then we'll have to.
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay.
We can just fill in his name and put in an abstention.
Secondly, BRL.
Would you like me to do the roll call? Okay, we should do a roll call of the vote.
Okay. I say aye if you spell my name correctly.
That wasn't me.
I know.
didn't write this one.
So Antoinette, if you could just call everybody's name.
Okay, so Pam,
Aye.
or I should say Mrs. Gilmore. Sorry, Mrs. Gilmore, Mr. Stevenson,
Aye.
Mr. McFarland,
Aye.
Mr. Piazza,
Aye.
and Mrs. Claire. Ms. Claire.
Ms.
But you're abstaining, right, Mr. Piazza?
I'm not, I reviewed the file last Friday.
Okay, got it.
Aye.
Okay.
That was my first time.
All right, I like doing it that way.
That's fine, because Anthony is more active.
Second site plan is 630 Hampton Road, BRL Hampton Road LLC. This has been adjourned to January 6th. Third would be 1 Hampton Road, J&H LLC. And again, we have a written decision ready for review.
So there's a copy of the resolution in your file. It's a site plan approval to convert an existing building on the premises from 1 unified retail use to 4 separate leasable retail uses.
This is the Pottery Barn application.
Is it 4 or 3?
It's 4.
Says
What's
4.
the number?
I was,
What's the number?
I was okay asking.
2161.
Actually, 3.
2161.
Well, it says 4 in the file, and it's rather unclear as to whether or not the upstairs unit is going to be part of, okay.
Yeah, actually, that was a mistake that was on the original plan, so it kind of carried through, but that's been corrected on the other plan.
Oh, we're at 1 Hampton
they-
already? Oh, sorry.
So,
So,
well, we should correct this
Yes,
Who's
it
correct?
should just, in the resolution, it still says 4. It just kind of
Oh, it's
carries
3,
through. So, yeah, so what it is that the Pottery Barn building, the main building on the corner, is going to remain 1. And then there'll be the other 2 that face Hampton Road.
Well, actually, it's all the Pottery Barn now,
Right.
just to allay any confusion. It's all the part, I think of it as the town hall and the 2 court annexes.
Yep. Yep.
So the 2 annexes, as it were, will be 2 separate retail spaces, and then the old, the original town hall will be 1.
And if I understand correctly, historically, those 2 buildings, those 2 sections were separate retail at one point?
No, I don't think so. It was Saks had them all the same. I believe
okay.
Saks had them all the
I don't
same.
think they've ever
It
been
Went from the
separate.
town
was
hall
just
then to
Saks.
Saks,
Yeah,
right? It was just Saks.
Right.
And then Saks left and
Saks
was
left
the
and Pottery Barn came
So
in.
it's always been 1 retail until now.
You said before it'll have the normal front and back entrances and all that.
Yes, everything's, thanks to
Well,
Kathy pointing that stuff out, it's all been taken care of.
I will move that the board adopt the application of 2161 Hampton Road as presented and reviewed by...
As amended, as amended,
As amended for 3, not 4 in the application.
yes.
By council, fix it up for us.
Thank you.
I guess someone needs to second.
A second?
Aye, and then Anthony, you're going to call the roll for the vote.
Sure. Mrs. Gilmartin?
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. McFarland?
Aye.
Mr. Piazza?
Aye.
Ms. Fair?
Aye.
The motion is approved. I mean, the decision is, the resolution is approved.
Sign up, yeah.
When is Pottery Barn leaving? Anybody know?
I don't know, you'd think they would have
Yeah,
like
Christmas
a
trees up now.
sale or something like, they have Christmas trees?
It's a liquidation.
January
Here
2nd.
we go.
Let us know.
I don't know. I'll let you know. I was surprised they didn't have some sort of announcement.
I know, I went by and I went, okay, Halloween's over, Christmas trees are up.
So, John, there's a couple of corrections we're making to the resolution to
We'll have the
reflect the
3 to
3,
4?
and then in the paragraph, on the bottom paragraph, so, yeah.
4 to 3, yeah.
So we'll...
Oh, it's the same correction. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, thank
and
you.
there's reference to a unified access, which no longer is applicable, so
Okay.
we'll make the changes to the original.
Thank you.
And that'll be on the file.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is Old Town Lodge 908 at 40 Main Street. This is a new site plan review.
So this is scheduled for a public hearing in December, so we can discuss this at the November meeting, and
Okay.
between now and then, I will provide any comments, but I really don't expect there to be many comments, if any. Yeah,
This was the revision to the back entrance elevator.
and the elevator, yeah.
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 Good.
A lot to talk about.
So in view of the fact that the applicant isn't here, I would suggest that we adjourn for all purposes at the request of
Yeah,
the applicant.
we say it's at the request, right?
Yes.
Okay, this will be adjourned at the request of the applicant for the next public hearing. Review of the private work meeting and the next public hearing on December, whatever it is,
Second.
2nd or something, it's
Yeah.
early.
That's correct.
That's the motion. Seconded?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you.
In subdivisions, the first item on the agenda, 99 Sanford Place, has been adjourned to our December 2nd meeting. And in lot line modification, we have the application of Rosemary Kiola Musacia at 140 Duck Pond Lane.
We have the decision.
There's a decision in your file. It's a resolution approving a lot line modification, seeking to divide 3 parcels and consolidate the divided parcels into 2 parcels.
I'll make a motion that for the first time in a long while, we go the other way. We're going to combine 3 lots into 2. Rarely happens.
Very refreshing.
I'll make the motion that it be approved by us.
I'll second that.
Okay?
Aye.
Aye.
Ms. Gilmartin, Mrs. Gilmartin, I'm sorry.
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. McFarland.
Aye.
Mr. Piazza.
Aye.
And Ms. Claire.
Aye.
That's good.
We have some minute approval. We have to see if we have enough people here. I think we do. Mr. McFarland, you're the minute expert.
Yeah, that's because the minute, not even Charlie, but the minutes are the binding official record of everything we do, so
I
keep.
thought we already approved September 30th.
You did.
We did,
I
okay.
think so.
Okay.
Thank you all.
October 7th, I was not at, so I leave it up to you. I looked at it, but I wasn't here. Was it,
I advertised in the county and you sent me some minor edits.
I'm not sure Pam was here for that one, though.
I could pull it up.
I wasn't,
So then we wouldn't have enough people.
no.
I wasn't here.
We'll never have enough
There
No.
people.
must have been, because we had a meeting, there had to be a
We
quorum.
don't have enough people.
But there
because
must
it
have
was
been
3
a
of us.
quorum to have the meeting, so.
It wasn't,
But it was Zach.
Zach was here.
Oh.
We only had 3 members.
Yeah, the 3 members that attended that meeting are now 2.
You have to
Currently
do
in
it.
service.
I think you have to vote on the minutes as even if you don't have a quorum, because
I would
otherwise
say that
you're
it's
stuck.
2 of you
They're
should
in
attend.
limbo.
I'd rather wait till the next meeting. I'd like to research that.
Okay.
Good.
Because Jane and I would have been here of the 3, I mean, Zach was here, but now we just have Jane and I, so.
My inclination is that if someone watches the hearing and then reviews the minutes, that it's probably fine, but I don't want to make a mistake.
All right, no rush.
I have reviewed them. It's up to you. That's
Wait,
the-
did we get rid of a whole bunch
the
of
Howard
stuff?
binder.
Yeah.
Because that is part of the record. What everyone does in the building department, because that one even runs.
Okay.
The next meeting of this board will be November 25th in this room at 5 PM for a work session, followed by our December 2nd meeting, 5:30 PM. That will be the public meeting for December. And if there's no further business,
I will move the meeting be adjourned.
do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.